Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he had taken against Edom. And the biblical Edomites are known as these so-called white people, these so-called Caucasians today. Your Americans, the British, the Europeans, the Russians, as well as those people over in the Holy Land right now, calling themselves ISRAELISs, who for the rest of the video, I'll be referring to them as the 1948ers. They're of the tribe of Amalek. And his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. And your Temanites are these Germans. And what's interesting is after World War II, a lot of those 1948ers, migrated to the Holy Land from Central Europe, which Germany is in, as well as Eastern Europe. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And that least of the flock is talking about those Amalekite Edomites, those 1948ers who are going to do something to foment a wider regional war in the so-called Middle East, which is really Western Asia, and it's going to involve Iran. But hey, what it's going to ultimately play into is the bigger battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the War of Armageddon in Joel chapter 3, the main part, the culmination of World War 3, which is also a part of biblical prophecy. Revelation chapter 9, verse 12, one woe or destruction is past, referring to World War I, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter, World War II, which is past, and World War III, which is quickly coming upon us, and which a lot of people will say, well, we're already, in World War III, the beginning stages of it. But as it said, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. When the 1948ers eventually instigate this war, on their side, it's going to draw in the United States of America and these other NATO nations, but on the side of Iran, Russia, China, and her other allies. And what just took place the other day, the 1948ers bombing parts of Iran's embassy in Syria, and it remains to be seen, what the Iranians are going to do. But that was, a declaration of war, because that broke all kinds of, conventions, conventions in the Geneva Convention, things, and something I believe is called the Vienna Treaty or Convention. And even the United States of America said that an attack on an embassy is a declaration of war. But, the War of Armageddon won't truly, happen until after the mandatory implementation of the MOTB in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18, which is the RFID/NFC C-HIP implant. So no matter, what Iran does in retaliation to that embassy bombing, it's just another stepping stone to the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat until it finally commences after the MOTB is mandatorily implemented. But I opened up the video with this verse to preface a clip from Off-Grid Desert Farming News with Paul and Adrian's YouTube channel titled Emergency Alert. Iran about to unleash hell on the 1948ers. Airspace has been cleared for missiles, just to give a further update on the situation over in the so-called Middle East. And this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes. And I'm going to play the majority of this clip just to get out the information.
Hello, everybody. This is Paul from Off Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. This is April the 3rd, 2024. We have an emergency alert. This is.
And Apostle Tahar has deemed 2024 to be the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And we can see that since this year started in so-called January, hey, it's been very eventful. One major event after another. And what's about to take place on Monday, that total solar eclipse, which is going to finish that X over the United States of America. And we know that the Most High uses the signs in heaven to, let us know that he's about to do something major.
Urgent news. This information is just coming in the last couple minutes that Iran has now space over their country for the launch of ballistic missiles against Israel. It does look like the Ayatollah Khomeini will launch a direct attack against Israel. This could escalate out of control very, very quickly. What you are looking at is the latest information coming in from Twitter. This was posted just 4 minutes ago. Let me show you the Twitter post. This is 4 minutes. Iranian airspace cleared of commercial flights. This is the picture. I guess it's flight tracking radar over Iran. Now, the Ayatollah has been threatening Israel all day long the last couple days. If you go to Twitter now, this is being reported. President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, 0 hour, has arrived. This is Rossi Jr. This is the Prime Minister or President of Iran. This is not the Ayatollah, but like the President. So it's about to go down, folks. About to go down. It's about to get real, real ugly in the world. This will be if Iran does attack. Let me go to the top story. But if Iran does attack Israel, then they will. We don't know if this is going to be nuclear. Let me go ahead and get you updated here. Iran is now trending on Twitter. If you go to see all of these posts, this is not fake news. There are also reports that people are fleeing Haifa. People are fleeing Haifa, the city, the port city in Haifa. Is now being, people are fleeing, Israelis are fleeing. So let me reduce the, we are live. So I'm trying to find some more videos for you guys. We're just scrolling down here. They did have videos. All right, here it is right here. Like a, I guess a 3-second video. I don't know why they didn't make the video longer. But you see all the cars supposedly getting out. Oh, this is just one video. There are also videos of the Islamic leader. Let me go up here. The latest information. I just wanted. The attack could happen anytime. Like according to the latest information, space is being cleared right now, and I'm trying to find that video again. Here it is. People are sharing this out 2 minutes ago. So, Iran has been warning the last couple days that there will be retaliation for the bombing in their embassy. Israel took out at least 7 top-ranking Iranian military officials a few days ago. They took out their top general and 2 other generals. We reported on that, and it now does. It looks like that we have reached hour that retribution for the attack against the Iranian embassy in Syria about to commence. We don't know what's going to happen, but as you can see from this flight tracking radar, the airspace over Iran is being cleared for the missiles to fly. Multiple information coming in that Iran has moved their ballistic missiles in firing position. We'll try to keep you updated throughout the night. This attack does happen, then Israel will probably respond with some kind of massive attack against Iran themselves. So this could escalate into tomorrow. We have so many.
That's it with that clip. But hey, it remains to be seen what Iran's going to do. But whatever the response and counter response is, it's just another stepping stone until the eventual War of Armageddon, the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat in Joel chapter 3, which will fully commence after the MOTB is mandatorily implemented. But again, Jeremiah 49 verse 20, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Who is going to come in on the side of, the 1948ers is mainly going to be the United States of America, which is in biblical prophecy. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, the North American army, all branches, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, you name it. And hey, you got a lot of veterans coming out with information now saying they're getting called back to active duty. And one of the brothers in my camp, somebody he knows said that has a family member or a friend in the military, said they recently just got a notice saying, hey, look, a war with Russia is going to happen, so you're getting called back. So all the pieces are getting put into play for World War III, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, like a desert, that Middle Eastern region. And this is mainly talking about Saudi Arabia, which is going to be the staging ground for the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And the United States of America has a lot of military bases in Saudi Arabia, with his face toward the East Sea. And what's to the east? The Persian Gulf, and above that, Iran. And to the northeast, you've got the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which, flow through Iraq, which the U.S. also has a military presence there, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, or behind him, speaking of the Red Sea. And look at what's taking place with the U.S. and U.K. Navy in the Red Sea with the Houthi rebels. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things, a great slaughter of U.S. military personnel in that Middle Eastern region. Hey, if you're a soldier that finds himself in the Valley of Jehoshaphat during World War III, you better come to terms with that being your final resting place. So that's them being drawn out on the side of the 1948ers. And who's going to be drawn out on the side of Iran? Nations like Russia, also a part of biblical prophecy. This is Ezekiel chapter 38. I'm going to start at verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, which is the biblical name for Russia, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army. And the Most High putting hooks into the jaws of Gog is the Most High bringing those Russian Edomites back into that old confrontational Soviet Union spirit, which we can clearly see with their war in Ukraine, and them constantly making threats to the West, mainly the U.S., saying, hey, look, you keep getting involved, we're going to use these nukes, which nuclear missiles will be shot during World War III as well. And all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shields, all of them handling swords, Russia's military might, their soldiers, tanks, fighter jets, artillery pieces, helicopters being gathered down into the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Here's the main point I wanted to get to. Verse 5, Persia, which is the ancient name for Iran, Ethiopia, which is what recently talked about dropping the US dollar and joining BRICS, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, going into Russia's allies. Gomer, which is speaking of Turkey and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee, because at some point Turkey is going to completely turn against the West and NATO and ally themselves with Russia in the East. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard, a protector, an ally unto them. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, shall draw out on the side of Iran, Gog, or Russia, Russia being a guard unto Persia, and Russia being a guard unto Gomer, or Turkey as well. Which I'm going to play a couple of seconds of this clip from Cyrus Jansen's YouTube channel titled Colonel Douglas McGregor Reveals Truth on Israel War in Middle East. And I was really going to do a video, using this clip dealing with that embassy bombing yesterday. But, I had to, I would have had to skip through a lot of stuff to hit the main points. So, I just decided to wait. And then that video from Off-Grid Desert Farming came out. I used that. And, I just decided to use a little bit of this clip. But this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes. But listen closely.
All sorts of things that could happen.
Right.
Then, of course, you have the Russians. And the Russians aren't going to sit around and watch us pulverize Iran if the Iranians come to the aid of Hezbollah. They'll become involved. And certainly Russia is not going to allow Turkey to be destroyed in a war either. And, of course, behind Russia stands China. Not because China...
You heard it right out of the horse's mouth. Russia or Gog is not going to sit by and let Iran get destroyed, or Persia. Neither is it going to allow Turkey or Gomer to get destroyed. It's going to be thou a guard unto them. And again, all these chess pieces are being moved into place to eventually play into the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat in Joel chapter 3, which is what we're going to close it out in. This is Joel chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the heathen Gentiles. Prepare war with Iran, World War III, the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the war of Armageddon. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And we can see that all those nations in the Middle East are building up their military arsenals and getting ready because they know war's about to take place. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And Iran, while they're using a lot of restraint right now, hey, they're not afraid of the United States of America or, the 1948ers, because they know that if and when they start a war against them, they've got their big brother Russia, as well as China, coming to their aid. And then on the other hand, you've got those Houthi rebels. Hey, they're talking big shit to the West, saying, look, we don't care if you keep attacking us. Hey, we're going to shoot missiles right back at you. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. The United States of America, the 1948ers, Iran, Russia, Turkey, China, Saudi Arabia, these NATO nations, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, and those mighty ones are the death angels of the Most High, holding back this great destruction, waiting to get the go-ahead to fully release it, which again is going to happen after the MOTB is mandatorily implemented. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which in the Hebrew is Yahweh's Shaphat, or Yahweh's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And when you go up to the first couple of verses in this chapter, you'll see why Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai is ultimately gathering these heathen nations down into the valley of Jehoshaphat to judge them for afflicting the apple of his eye, the true children of Israel, who are known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today, as well as the Israelite foreigners who have been scattered amongst these different nations and have come to look like them. Hey, with each passing day, it's becoming more evident who the true children of Israel are. Look at what Vladimir Putin just did. He opened up that vault and showed publicly a lot of those Russian icons predating the Renaissance, which show the Messiah, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, whose true name is Yahushai, the saints, the angels. Hey, it shows them all as what they truly were, so-called dark-skinned Negroes. That they weren't so-called white people or Edomites. Verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. And with these embassy attacks and just this constant escalation in the Middle East, we know that the day of Yahweh is very near in the valley of decision. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babol, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.